Financial support for the production of Issues in Education is provided by the Florida State University License Plate. Your FSU license plate supports scholarships for students who enrich and contribute to our communities. Special programs, gift certificates, and rebates for first-time buyers online at FSU.edu/mytag.
Coming up today on Issues in Education, arts, entertainment, and the impact on higher education. We talk with the brand new executive director of the 7 Days of Opening Nights Festival. Welcome to the first episode of the 10th season of Issues in Education. I'm Suzanne Smith, alongside my co-host, the Florida State University President, Dr. Eric Barron. We're not alone in beginning a new season. The annual FSU Arts Festival, known as 7 Days of Opening Nights, is celebrating the start of their 15th year. In September, they had a very successful kickoff event, and starting October 2nd, tickets to this year's season performances became available. But there is a very important educational aspect to this arts festival as well. Joining us today is the brand new executive director of the 7 Days Festival, FSU alumnus Christopher Heacox. He's here to talk about this year's schedule, how the festival impacts education at FSU, and his plan as the new executive director. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So Chris, you have an FSU connection, and you also have quite a history with festivals. Maybe you'd start with the FSU connection. What is it?
I graduated from the College of Music in 1995. I studied saxophone here, and so it's just wonderful to be back here at the university where I started my studies.
Why did you decide to go to FSU to begin with? Were you interested in an instrument?
Yes, again, I was a saxophonist. The main professor I studied with, Pat Meehan, is just an outstanding saxophonist and professor, and he's really the one that attracted me to the university at first. And obviously the music department is one of the top music departments in the country, so it was a no-brainer to come here and study music.
And so you graduated, and what was next?
Yeah, I went to the Eastman School of Music at the University of Rochester and studied jazz and contemporary media, and went off and taught college and performing arts high school in Jacksonville, Florida. I taught college at the University of North Florida in Jacksonville, and also taught at Stetson University. And then I moved into the presenting nonprofit field and started working on festivals and concert series like 7 Days of Opening Nights, and really found my love for presenting and doing this type of work.
How'd you hear about the 7 Days Festival position coming open?
Well, it's actually something that I've been following. Obviously, as an alumnus of Florida State, I've followed the festival for the last 15 years, and I knew Steve McQueen personally, but it's a funny story. I was actually presenting one of the faculty members here at Florida State, Reed Gainsford, who's the head of the piano department, and we were having dinner after a performance in Jacksonville, and he just mentioned to me that Steve was going to be leaving the position, and so one thing led to another. I contacted one of the deans of the College of Music that was heading the search committee, and came and interviewed, and the rest is history.
It worked out well.
It worked out very well, yes.
That's wonderful. So now, did you know 7 Days of Opening Nights is a lot more than 7 days when you when you began? And how do we define 7 days here at Florida State?
From what I was told, and from looking back, 7 days has never even been 7 days. I think it was 8 days the first year. But I think that we've branded the performing arts series that we have 7 Days of Opening Nights, and it's a great kind of catch brand. But really, we focus on a core festival during that February timeframe. That usually in February ranges from about 10 to 14 days where we're bringing artists in. But we have opportunities throughout the year to bring artists in that maybe are not able to come in during February for extended residencies or performances with our students. So it really encompasses the whole festival year, September, October through sometimes April and maybe even into May sometimes.
Tell us some of the highlights from this year's program.
So we have some great performances. As you said earlier, we had our kickoff performance on February the 21st of September with choreographer and dancer Emily Johnson. Emily's been no stranger to Florida State. She's been here 4 times now through the Maggie LEC National Center for Choreography. And so she came back through and did her premiere of the work Naguni. and it was a very successful performance. We were very happy to have her here and to do a 2-week residency with our dance students. But we have some great performances. The first time that Wynton Marsalis, the Pulitzer Prize, Grammy-winning trumpeter with Jazz at Lincoln Center, coming through, performing at Ruby Diamond since it's been renovated in the last 2 years. We have the outstanding Grammy winner Hilary Hahn on violin, Bernadette Peters from the stage and film, just a number of different performers that are coming through the festival this year.
So now my bet is that if I asked you, you'd be diplomatic and tell me that you loved every single performance, but secretly there must be some that you can't wait to see personally.
Yeah, there are two. Again, being a saxophonist, and jazz is really my first love. Bringing Wynton Marsalis here with Jazz at Lincoln Center has a very warm spot in my heart. I've seen Wynton perform in New York. I've seen him perform here in Florida. I've been in New Orleans and seen him perform. So it's going to be nice to see him again. And actually, I have a couple of friends that are in the group as well. So it's going to be good to catch up with some people I haven't seen in a while. But the other one that's really intriguing to me that I'm looking forward to is Preservation Hall Jazz Band from New Orleans is playing with the Del McCoury Band, which is a bluegrass band, and it's the collaboration of American music from New Orleans jazz and bluegrass, and they'll be playing on stage together. And I think that's going to be a performance that people are really going to love here in Tallahassee.
How does the choices for who is going to be a part of the festival take place? Is it a group decision? Is it your decision? How does it work?
Well, it ultimately falls on my shoulders as my decision, but it's a collaborative effort. One of the things that sets 7 days apart from other festivals is our educational component. We really work hand in hand with our deans of the arts colleges to see what kind of an impact these artists can have, national, international artists that we have out there, can have on our students, either working with them, performing with them, providing master classes, question and answer sessions. I mean, there's a gamut of ways that they can interact with our students. So it always helps to reach out to faculty and to those deans to say, what is it that these students are looking for? What are you looking for academically to work with them? So it starts there. Then I work with the different artist agents and artists and really try to put it together so that it fits not only our community, our university, but also for our students and faculty.
So how much lead time is involved? This is a bit of a transition year, given that these performances were selected before you came.
Right.
And do you look at it and say, wow, they did a great job, and I'm going to change this or that, or even things already set up for next year?
Yeah, it was already, again, like you said, it was already set up by the previous director, and I came in and inherited this series, but we're in October right now, and I'm already working on the festival for 13 and 14. We're already looking at dates for February 2014. But one of the things that I would say about that is I think the festival has done a great job of bringing outstanding performances in, and our educational components have been great, but I think we can do even more educationally, providing opportunities for our students to do more performing with these artists that we're bringing in here. And that's something that I've started to work on with the artists that I'm looking at for 13-14.
What kind of hands-on work do the students do with because there's a variety of them. You talked about the master classes. Tell us a little bit what kind of things happen in those.
Yeah, there are a number of different things. From a theater aspect, we have actors that are coming in that'll work with the students. So if a student's working on a monologue or something like that, they'll help them. Anthony Zerbe, the actor that we're bringing in this year, is going to be doing that. Second City Comedy Troupe from Chicago will be doing some improv classes with our theater students as well and working that way. So we actually have a direct contact with them. From a music standpoint, it's the same thing. They might have a master class where the students are working on a particular piece of music, and the artist will come in and kind of give their take on what's going on there. And then from a dance perspective, a lot of times we bring in dancers, and Emily being one of them, where they will actually create their work or perfect their work while they're here. And the students get an opportunity to see how that is, see the creative process, but also might be able to work in with that performance as well. So there's just a number of different ways.
I'm really curious about how we manage this focus on the educational part. Is this actually a prerequisite? Do you ever get a performer who pushes back a little bit? Are they all very eager? Because it strikes me as one of the more powerful parts about 7 days.
It is, and for the most part, I would say probably more than 90% of the artists that are out touring right now want to do something educationally because they understand what kind of impact they can have on the lives of these students, because at one point in their lives they were
there
in the same place. Exactly.
Yeah.
So for them to be able to give back to those students, it's very important. And one of the things that they're really looking at now too, that is a big focus here at Florida State, is entrepreneurship. A lot of these artists really understand, because they were the ones that were having to develop their careers on their own, and understand that they can really provide something to our students and to other students in the country on how to market themselves and how to make it as a performing artist in this country.
I think another aspect that I think is awesome about this educational aspect is that they don't just come in for that February or right around their thing. They come in other parts of the year to work. And so is it hard to mesh schedules like that?
It's planning. Again, working on the season this early and getting things scheduled early. It's always better to sometimes get on someone's calendar a year and a half in advance so that you have a little more flexibility. If we were booking something 6 months, 3 months out, you wouldn't have that. But good planning gets people on the calendars. We can block off 2 or 3 days, 4 days at a time and really be able to have an impact here on the university campus.
So now we've already had the kickoff. What was it? How did it go?
Emily Johnson, world premiere of her work Nikuni, which was developed here again at Florida State in the last few years. It went fantastically. It was a great performance. We had a great audience, a wonderful response from the community. We had architecture students in the performance here on campus. We had roller derby girls. We had just a bunch of different people performing on that performance local on the university and in the community. So yes, it went very, very well.
What are the students saying? There were students at that event, so what are they saying about it?
They just thought it was fantastic. I mean, one of the things that Emily did is she really connected with our students here on campus this year when she was here and other years. So she kind of has a little bit of a community here. So it was nice for her to come back and them to work with her and see her and kind of experience the creation of this work.
So do we actually survey the students and find out what they think and how they're reacting and what they would like to see in the future?
It is something that I have started actually coming in. I have more students working with me at 7 days than we've had in the past 15 years of the festival. And I have students that are connected to Union Productions, which is our student-run performing arts series here, and really reaching out to them and saying, hey, what is it that you guys want? What are those type of things? So yeah, it is something that we're working on, and I think that's something we're going to expand. One of the ideas that I have that I guess I can share with you right now is putting together a student advisory council for 7 days, and it's in process right now, and I think it'll help us to determine what the students like, what they don't like, what works for them, and get them more involved in the series as well.
What about students who aren't part of the music and the art and the theater groups or writing? What if you're a science major? What do you get out of this?
Well, you get a great experience on campus. I'm friends with a lot of people in a lot of different aspects of life, from doctors to CPAs to lawyers, and everyone loves the arts, music, and I think that being on a college campus where it's so accessible to start to get those experiences now, to become an arts lover early, it just provides something that they might not get anywhere else.
So many people are taking this extraordinarily practical, I think they would say practical, approach to education, and that is, do you get jobs?
Right.
do the students that are involved, are there actually job outcomes that you could put your finger on and say that actually comes from 7 days?
Yeah, actually I could. I can tell you with the students that I'm working with right now, I have one that has interned at one of the booking agencies that we work with in New York and did a fantastic job, and is looking to work in this field. And you know, one of the great things that I can do is I can put them in contact with other companies and agencies that might fit their role, and it's and I actually had some conversations this weekend with someone that that might happen. So yes, we are placing people in this field and in these jobs as well.
Now the ticket sales began
on October 2nd, correct.
So now we're taping this a little bit before that time, but what kind of early buzz are you getting on the ticket sales?
Yeah, we're getting great early buzz on the season. We have started pre-sales to our membership group, and obviously some of the big names are selling well, but some of the other ones that people might not know about are selling very well too. Wynton Marsalis is selling great. Bernadette Peters' Carolina Chocolate Drops, who we're bringing back for a second year, is very, very popular. So yeah, we're very excited about how the ticket sales are going.
And you just don't do ticket sales for an individual event, you also do memberships.
Correct.
So what does it mean to be a member, and does this benefit the university in a different way?
Yeah, membership, the big thing for people is it allows the general public to be able to purchase their tickets early so they can get their tickets before they go on sale to the general public. But a membership to 7 days really impacts us, and we're able to do the educational outreach in the community because of the money that we get in from those memberships. We do about 5 or 6 educational outreach programs through 7 days in our Leon County schools, and these memberships directly affect those programs and allow us to do that in the community.
And 7 days is completely self-sustaining as
Absolutely.
well. All these tickets pay for everything.
Right. Our memberships, our donations, our corporate sponsorships, our individual sponsorships, and our ticket sales completely pay for everything. We're 100% self-sustaining.
And where should people go if they want to find out more information about the tickets or the events or the classes, any of that?
Anything. Well, our website is a great place to go to, 7daysfestival.org. All the information is there. You can also, if you want to skip the website and go straight to the ticket office, it's tickets.fsu.edu or 850-644-6500.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. We've been talking with Christopher Heacox, the new Executive Director of 7 Days of Opening Nights. To learn more about the festival, once again, you can go to 7daysfestival.org. When we come back, Dr. Barron and I will talk one-on-one about more issues in education. Welcome back to Issues in Education. I'm Suzanne Smith, talking with Dr. Eric Barron, the president of the Florida State University. Dr. Barron, we've been talking about 7 days of opening nights. What do you think of the lineup this year?
You know, it's incredibly diverse, a lot of great stars. I think it might be the best year yet since I've gotten to come back to Florida State.
Now, do you have a particular performance you're looking forward to seeing this year?
You know, I always like to have some variety, but I think the Carolina Chocolate Drops are so great, I'm going to go. I really would like to see it again. And Wynton Marsalis, I think that'll be fantastic. I met Mr. Gilmore, who brings a movie that you don't know what it's going to be. I met him on a trip to New York City and had a chance to sit and talk with him for a while about, you know, his vision and the film festivals that he produces, and I had not done that one yet, and so I'm kind of excited about doing that for the first time.
It's usually a great movie, and we don't know what it is until the day of, until
nice
it
to
happens.
have a little mystery, isn't it?
Yes. What do you feel about Christopher Heacox? It's his first year doing this at Florida State. What role does he bring to the role of executive director?
Okay, you know, I sort of look at it as a passion for the fine arts, a passion for students, and someone who really has an understanding and a vision of what an event like this can mean for the university, can mean to the students, and can mean to the whole community. And so here you have someone who's an alum, and so he already has that sort of emotional tie to the institution, great experiences with festivals, and a performer himself. So that's a pretty good combination to hit exactly those points that are so important to be successful.
You talked about what the university and what the students get out of it. What do you see the students in the university getting out of the festival?
Well, you can do it at the individual level, where a student is taking a class from a world-renowned performer, and that is not something that happens every day. And here it's a part of the whole culture of bringing in the performers and making sure that they're not just performing, they're transmitting what they know to students. So that kind of connectivity is just fantastic. And then you look at just the breadth again, from authors to dance to music, a whole broad range of music theater. It's just, if you want to get an appreciation for the arts, just get a membership in 7 days of opening nights, and you get such a wonderful variety. You're a long way along the way there.
There's been such a push the last several years for students to get involved with STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math. How does a festival dedicated to art sort of mesh with that STEM vision?
Yeah, okay. I think the key here is excellence, period, in whatever it is that you attempt to do. We know that great universities have a great deal of breadth. We know that students come into a university and half of them change their mind. We know there are all sorts of gifts and talents that students have. So a university should be able to amplify any of those talents and should make sure that there is that breadth that allows them to be to find what it is their passion, and also to live a richer life. So in my view, excellence in STEM is a part of a vision for a university, which is excellence in all those things that you strive to do. And if you think about it, we're not just after great jobs, we're also after quality of life. It helps deliver it.
Does that make it easier to it makes it easier to justify an arts festival with the emphasis on STEM fields happening?
Okay. Well, anytime you can do something that's self-sustaining by membership ticket sales and gifts and sponsorships, you're not going to get a lot of argument over whether or not this is a good thing to do. But on the other hand, if you want to be really crude about it, the more highly ranked a university is, the higher wages your students get when they graduate. Forget the little difference between fields and whether you work in your field. The basic principle is a great university delivers a student that other people want to employ. And there's this direct correlation. So if you really want to do something well for the students, make sure Florida has multiple highly ranked universities, and you'll be really serving the population well.
Speaking of rankings, the U.S. News & World Report just came out with their college rankings. How did FSU do?
Well, something we stress quite a bit about it, because although rankings, always have parts which are great and parts which are flaws, the U.S. News World Rankings is one that a lot of people pay attention to, parents pay attention, students pay attention to, just as I was saying, they want their children to go to a highly ranked university. So I was really proud of the fact that despite all the budget squeezes that we've had, that we moved for the ranking for all universities from 101 to 97. So we've broken into the top 100 for the first time in 14 years. And as a public, we went from 46 to 42, which again, now if we break into the 30s, then you're really talking about being part of the cream of the crop of the public university realm. But the other thing that was interesting is we dropped in financial resources from being 204 to 212. So we're delivering a top 100 university with the financial resources of number 212, and they only rank 270 universities. So this is a university that knows how to spend a dollar to deliver quality. There's just no two ways about it.
October means we're about halfway through the fall semester. What has been your highlights so far this fall?
Well, so far I could say that I haven't a clue what day it is or what month it is, because it just is one big roar. I mean, you go from welcoming the students and events to welcoming them to classes starting to, all of the different planning and activities because the faculty are here and then tossing a little football on the weekend, and it just goes.
That's how you know the weekends get here. It's the
that's
football
how you know
games.
the weekends are here, is because you're watching the football game, or you're hosting alumni that are here that are benefactors of the university, or you're doing a tailgate, or we just had all the foundation boards from boosters, foundation, alumni, real estate, all here together. And so for 2.5 days, these are all our great volunteers. So it's, you can ask me when the semester's over and I get a chance to look back, maybe I'll pick out something particularly memorable.
Well, is there anything coming up that you're looking forward to?
I really do feel a lot of energy and momentum that I think says a lot about the university. Everything from having every single fall sports team ranked in the top 11 to watching the Honors and Fellows House begin to come out of the ground. And I think when I see a building there, and I'll know that idea is becoming really concrete, I'm going to feel pretty good.
And great things to look forward to. Thank you, President Barron. That's our time for now. Please join us again next month for more Issues in Education. You can watch the premiere episode of Issues in Education the first Wednesday of every month at 7:30 p.m. That means you can see the next new episode on Wednesday, November 7th on WFSU TV. Join us as we discuss the latest developments in higher education happening around the state and across the country. If you have questions you would like us to address on this program, you can email us at issues@wfsu.org. That's issues@wfsu.org. If you would like to see any episodes from the past 9 seasons of Issues in Education, head to the President's website at president.fsu.edu. I'm Suzanne Smith with the Florida State University President, Dr. Eric Barron, for Issues in Education. We'll see you next time.
Financial support for the production of Issues in Education is provided by the Florida State University License Plate. Your FSU license plate supports scholarships for students who enrich and contribute to our communities. Special programs, gift certificates, and rebates for first-time buyers online at fsu.edu/mytag.